Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Whitney and today I want to do a little palette throwback with you guys. So I think this is going to be kind of a new series that I start on my channel where I go through all of my eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadow singles and specifically use them in a video to do a little throwback to them. I have so many eyeshadow palettes and singles eyeshadows, glitter eyeshadows that I never really get a lot of use out of. So in this process of rotating through my collection and getting use out of more of my products, I thought that this would be a really fun series to start on my channel. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to go through every single one of these eyeshadow palettes and singles and glitters and everything, pigments, all that stuff that is in my collection that I don't currently get a ton of use out of. So I was kind of going through, and I'm not going to really go through in any particular order when I do this series. It's just going to be what I feel like using that day. So today I decided that I want to use the ColourPop Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. Now in this series there are going to be palettes that were limited edition, holiday, you know, no longer available because they just don't sell it anymore. And that's just the way it goes. I'm a normal consumer, and so I have palettes and products in my collection that may no longer be available, but I know a ton of you have this palette, so maybe we can do a little throwback together. So this is what the palette looks like. I can show it up right. It has a beautiful variety of shades in it. I think today I'm actually going to play with this red tone and see what I can come up with. I love color on the eyes. I have a lot of real estate on my eyes, and so I love to play with colors and shimmers and glitters and just do all kind of stuff. I am not shy when it comes to eyeshadow. So I have already done a lot of my face makeup, which is why I look crazy with these bold brows. And I've already primed and set my eyelids, so I am ready to go to jump right into this palette throwback. I hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just get into it. Because I've already set my lids with a cream shadow, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is kind of like a light peachy brown tone, and I'm gonna use this. Actually, I'm gonna mix these two, this peach and this brown. I'm gonna mix them because I went a little warmer with my eyebrows today, so I want to make sure that my eyeshadow kind of isn't too cool tone. So I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna start applying that to the crease of my eyelid, kind of as my transition color. And I am, just to give y'all some reference, I'm very light-handed with my eyeshadows. When I dip in, I am dipping in very lightly. There's almost no kickback because I go very light-handed. So when I'm dipping, I'm light-handed. When I'm applying, I'm super light-handed. So you might say, where's the pigment? You know, it's there, it's buildable. Let me zoom y'all in a little bit. Is that too close? So just so that way y'all can see what I'm kind of doing. So I'm going in and I'm just building up this crease. And you can see that the pigmentation is there. But because I'm so light-handed with my shadows, it just doesn't look, you know, crazy pigmented. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this up until I'm satisfied. And because I have a little bit more space on my lids, I do like to take the shadow closer to my brow bone. And as I'm doing my transition in my creases, I like to bring them kind of out and then out towards my eyebrow and then down towards my lashes to almost give that triangular winged effect when I'm doing my shadows. And I like to put most of the product on the outer edge and then bring it inward so that I'm getting a nice transition from darkest to lightest in that inner corner. And if y'all can hear, my kids are playing in the living room with my husband, so that's just life. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that transition right now. So that's, I like the way that that looks. I'm going to go in and do the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so now moving on, I want to deepen up this crease, and I'm definitely going to go into this reddish shade right here because I'm going to deepen up the crease with this. So let's just do it. Again, lightly tapping in, but man, look at the pigment on my brush, and I just lightly tapped in. Can y'all see that? Look at the pigment on the brush, and I just very lightly tapped in, but wow, that's pigmented. Okay, so let's see. Oh, oh man, that is so beautiful. Do y'all see the red, how it just pops in that corner? Almost like it's like a sunset eye. It's beautiful. So I'm going to take this in that crease lower than the transition, and I'm going to bring it more onto the lid than I did my, those other two shadows. And when I do this, I kind of stamp it in. You can tell I'm like pressing it in, and then I'll go back and kind of blend it out. And that just makes it so that the pigmentation goes exactly where I want it. And again, I'm just going to build this up until I'm satisfied. I really like the way that that's looking. I want to go in and just blend out those edges. When I'm doing my eyeshadows, I always blend every step of the way. I don't wait till the end. I don't wait till the end to blend. I blend every step of the way. So I went in and did that crease. I don't like the way those edges are looking, so I'm going to go back in with my original brush into those original two colors very lightly and just blend these edges. And if you can tell, it just blows out the shades slightly so that it looks so much more blended. And I'll do the other eye and be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did this eye, and I went a little higher with that red shade in my crease into my brow bone. So I just went in on this side and kind of did the same thing. And I really like the way that that looks. Like I said, I have a lot of real estate on my eyelids, so I can bring color way up and it doesn't look out of proportion. If you don't have a lot of lid space, I would keep it closer to the transition crease of the eye. But if you have more space on your lids, then by all means blow it out. If you don't have as much space but you like the way the color looks blown out, do it. It's makeup. It's whatever you like. It's whatever you think looks good. And I love the way that this looks right now. So I'm trying to keep this to just one palette, but I don't know which shade I'm going to go in with. So I'm going to swatch a couple of these. Okay, so I went ahead and swatched all of the shimmery shades in the palette. And I think, which one's gonna go best? I think this one is gonna go best with this look. I was kind of thinking one of these red bronzy shades, but I'm going to a birthday party later and I want it to be a little bit more neutral. I mean, this red is bold enough. So I think I'm gonna go in with this golden shade right here, which is this one right here in the palette. So I'm gonna go in with this one all over the lid. I'm gonna go in with it just the shadow first on the eye brush. I'm not going to wet it. I'm not going to do anything. I want to see what the pigmentation looks like because it's been a while since I've used this palette. Not impressive at all. Do you even see it? Very lackluster. It's very glittery. I feel like I've gotten fallout all over my face, which is no good. Okay, so I'm going to go in with some MAC Fix Plus, and I'm going to I'm almost at spray my brush, and then I'm going to go dip it back in there, back into this shadow. And with shimmer shades, I do kind of dig my brush in there a little bit more because I want to really get a good coating of that shadow on the brush. And let's go in now and see what we got. Oh, so much better. Look at that. Wow. It is amazing what a little bit of moist solution on your brush. Because you could use water too, but the MAC Fix Plus I really like. It's good, but it's not perfect. So I'm just going to go back in. I'm just going to build this up until it's as metallic as I want it to be. And it's not as opaque as I wish it was. And if you can tell, I'm getting a ton of fallout on my cheek. So I would recommend using a shadow stick or a tacky glitter glue base, something like that. I'm going to try that on the other eye and see if it works any better. I just take my powder brush and just wipe away any fallout if I have to. I went ahead, if you can tell, and I took that shimmer shade up into my crease a little bit. I just like the way that that looks, so when my eyes open, you can still see that shimmer up into the crease just slightly. And I'm going to go back in with my first brush with those first two colors, and I'm just going to blend out the top where the crease is and that edge. And I also want to go back in with my smaller brush in that red shade. And I'm going to blend out this line where the glitter shadow stops. Because I don't want it to look just like, oh, glitter, the shadow like a line. I want it to blend. Just like that. Ooh, that is pretty. I was going to go in with something else on the eye, but I want them to look the same. I don't want this one to look like any more metallic or opaque than this eye. So I'm just going to go in and do the same exact thing with the MAC Fix Plus and that shadow. So I went ahead and did this eye, and I am thoroughly happy. Let me get in with you guys. Look at that. The pigmentation, the opaqueness, the shimmer. It's just beautiful. That shade did take some working with, but once I wet my brush thoroughly and dipped it in there, I mean, it went on beautifully. So I feel like a wet brush is the way to go. I mean, probably a glitter glue would work as well, but that wet brush worked really good. So I'm just going to get out. Oh, not in. Come out from you guys. I'm going to go in and finish the lower lash line. So I'm going to go first in with my small brush in that red shade. And I'm going to keep it close to the lash line. And just drag it all the way. I like to go pretty much 2/3 of the way in. I keep that 1/3 from the inner corner clean, but I like to go in about 2/3 of the way with that dark shade. Oh, yes. And then I'm going to go in with nothing on this fluffy brush. This has my first two colors, but I'm not adding anything to it. And just kind of buff that out. And I do take this one all the way in, so that way it kind of drags some of the pigmentation to that inner corner, but I'm not actually putting color there. All right, I'm happy. So what next? I'm gonna have to step out of this palette. So I think we're done with this palette. That looks really good. So the only thing to finish up the eyes is I'm gonna do the inner corner and brow bone. There's nothing quite in that palette, and I usually like to use whatever highlight I'm going to use that day for the inner corner and brow bone. So today I'm going to go in with the Becca Opal highlighter and with this little domed brush. I like this one, the opal shade, with this because it's champagne toned, and since we went a little warmer with the eye look, but it's still a little golden, this one works beautifully with it. I want to drag this a little bit to the lower lash line as well. And then along with that, blending every step of the way. I don't want a harsh line from the brow bone highlight and my eyeshadow. So I just go with that fluffy brush, no additional product. And I just lightly buff my brow bone into my shadows. I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup, and I'll be back and talk about the palette. Okay, y'all, so I went ahead and finished up my makeup. I'm just going to run real quick through you guys and just let y'all know what I put on my face, so that way if y'all have any questions, y'all will know. I went in with this blush from Becca in the shade Songbird. It's more of a warm tone shimmery blush. I love this, and it worked perfectly with this eye look. And of course, I went in with my highlighter, Becca and Opal. And, oh, that's right. Becca highlighters are amazing. Then for my eyelashes, I curled them with my Tarte curler. I went in with my Lancome Sealed Booster Lash Primer. Then I went on top of that with the Lancome Hypnose Drama. Hashtag not sponsored because they don't know who I am. But I love Lancome mascara and primer. Love them. And then on the bottom lashes, I went in with the Lash Accelerator by Rimmel. That was it. One coat of primer, 2 coats of mascara. Gets these long, beautiful, voluminous lashes. I mean, for me, it's natural, but it's voluminous, but it's not fake lashes, but it's still natural, but it's a little more than natural. Anyway, and then the lip combo that I have on is the lip liner from Givenchy. And I got this from Gratis from Sephora. It's in the shade number 6. I went over top of that with the Smashbox liquid lipstick. I think this is in the shade Driver, but I'm really not sure. It's just a really terracotta orange brown color. These dry out. Look at how crusty that is. These dry out so quick. I've only used this one like a handful of times, but I've had it a while. And they just dry out so fast. I love the formula on the Smashbox liquid lipsticks, but they dry out so fast. It's ridiculous. I hate it. On the other hand, the Stila liquid lipstick. So on top of that, I went over with the Stila liquid lipsticks in Caramello. And this is a beautiful nude color. So this can go warm tone or cool tone. So over that warm terracotta color, it gave me this shade right here. And I absolutely love it. It's more of a neutral, dark, warm shade. I love it. But this one from Stila, and I hope y'all can tell how wet this one still is. I have used this one a ton. I've had this one longer than I've had the Smashbox one, and this one is still creamy and wet and beautiful, glides on easy, and dries down just the same as the Smashbox. So I don't know. Am I changing my mind? Do I like the Stila better than the Smashbox? Anyway, back to the Dream Street palette, which is why we're here, to that throwback. I really absolutely love the way that this eye look came out. I thought the shadows blended beautifully. I think the variety in this palette is awesome. You can do a warm tone, a cool tone. Excuse my toddler throwing a fit in the background. But I absolutely just love it. The shadows blended beautifully. I had no trouble building the pigmentation. A lot of times when you put on a shade, sometimes it's just you can't build it up. This was great. So I would definitely recommend, if you have this palette, pull it out, play with it. I'm probably going to do some other looks with it over this week because I pulled it out and I'm so excited. I love this series already because the first palette I tried, and I just can't wait to use it again, to try these blues, the browns, and see what other looks I can get with it. So I hope you all like this video. Let me know if you plan on doing a palette throwback. I'm just excited to see what kind of looks that I can do from all of my other palettes in my collection. So let me know if you've ever done something like this. I'm sure someone else out there has done palettes like this. It's just using your own makeup. Using the makeup that you have in your collection. That's it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun doing this video. If you like this eye look, thumbs me up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.